passion and how he has been developing his photograph in the way that you understand what you see in those circle photographs that you see in the background. All yours in there, you take a picture there? Okay.
Hello everybody, thank you for coming. And today I would like to take you to a journey of my art. And the title here is very important because it is an example of exactly the type of artist I am. I'm an industrial engineer, I'm from Venezuela, I'm a photographer, and an artist. And those things, in an engineer and a photographer, an artist, are kind of at two different ends of the spectrum, but they merge quite well, and I will show you. So I study art in Venezuela under famous artist Giancarlo. But my main influence at that time as an artist was actually my mom. My mom's an incredible artist, and she taught me everything from painting to drawing to how to see art. She took me to museums when I was 10 years old, and I hated it, but for some reason it stuck in my mind, and now it's one of my favorite pastimes to go to museums, and she developed that secret side. And I became an engineer, and after becoming an art engineer, I discovered photography, and I will explain you why I chose photography as my way to express myself. I've been around as a photographer for a while now. I don't know what this looks like this, but I have been in more than 20-30 exhibits and shows. And I started actually as a photographer, a painter, sorry. I painted, but I wasn't finding myself. I was trying to express light in my paintings. And I went through several phases of trying to express the light, and I started studying light, and this is the engineer coming out of me, trying to understand light, to show and put it in the canvas, the light. I started studying light and studying light. I even do a self-portrait myself, trying to figure out how the light works. And in the process of studying the light, I discovered that no other medium shows, plays, light better than photography. And when I started studying photography, I found three main photographers that became my role models, and you will see a little bit of the influence of all of them in my art. The first one is Mr. Peter Lik. Peter Lik, which is very commercial artist. He developed a technique that for printing that's unique and incredible. But the important thing about Peter Lik is that he takes pictures of scenes, of landscapes that a lot of people have seen and a lot of people have photographed, but he finds a way to take a picture of a landscape and that looks unique. You see pictures that I've never seen this before, and it happens to be an area that has been photographed for millions and millions of tourists throughout the years. He's traveled, and every time in his travel, he immortalized a landscape, a monument, a symbol, a reference of the places that he goes. And I think that to be able to keep the record of where you're going, what you're doing, and immortalize that for the future generations, because things are changing, and the progress are eliminating most of these symbols and monuments, and he's keeping a record of them before they get transformed by people. The other artist that for me is very important is Mr. Benjamin Bonbon. He's a conceptual artist, and he finds a way to show and to mix a picture and to design a picture in a way and playing with the elements in a way that I've never seen before. And that playing with the lights, playing with the elements, playing with new techniques, discovering new ways to show and to make photography, is that creativity for me is like incredible. And I always try to put a little bit of something original in what I'm doing, and to discover new media, new ways to photograph, new ways to print, new forms. And that comes from the influence of him, and he's always experimenting with things. And also, Mr. Christine, she takes photography to a different level. She goes around the world creating awareness of modern day slavery. And she goes around with her camera, taking pictures, going into mines, and then goes to New York and shows these people that still today is a slavery in the world. And she uses her photography and her art to create awareness. And she had literally helped millions of people get out of slavery today, this century, yesterday. And being an artist also gives you some kind of responsibility. We have one of the most powerful mediums that exists today, is the visual media. And with the way that the internet and social media is exploding, we have a responsibility. So being an artist for me is also being responsible, and that's why I will always try to convey a message of something, to also not only be an artist for myself, but trying to, for a community, for a cause, to help somebody. And that's the type of photography that I would love to do and keep doing in the future. As a sample of that, I had the opportunity to meet her here in Miami. As an example of that, all my collections had a little bit, and I'm going to flow a little bit of my most important collections and my inspirations of how I became, or they come to become a reality. One of my first ones was an Iron initiative. Iron initiative, it was a cyclist, a triathlete that was killed by training in Key Biscayne. And I became involved in Iron Act, trying to make the roads and the streets of Miami safer for the cyclist. In the past, a hit and run will get no more than a slap on the wrist, even if you kill somebody. If you live, wait 24 hours, have all the toxins of the drugs and the alcohol out of your system, then turn yourself, you will get 6 months, 3 months, and that's what's not right. So what we did through the movement, Iron movement, was to make the legislator change the law. And you hit somebody and you run, somebody who killed them, you will be at least 5 to 10 years in jail for hitting and run. And if you kill it, you get the maximum time for that. And that is social initiative. Through my photography, I started many of photographs about bicycles, about sharing the way, about you see now that Miami has a lot of cycleways, and we started that. We started that with the mayor Herman Regalado, and we moved and we went to the Congress and we went to City Hall and we talked to people and we cried and we lobby, and we finally were able to get that law passed here in Florida. The next step is to get it a nationwide law, federal law. And through a series of bicycle collection, I was able to create that awareness. And that's the social part of being together for responsibility. Another of my collection is the Hero Last Time collection. I came to Miami like 15 years ago. And then the 15 years ago, Miami was a town. Now it looks like a big metropolis. The skyline had changed in 10 years. And I took on myself to go around and look for those symbols of Miami that was disappearing, and take a picture and try to keep the record of and to as a symbol, as a remembering of a monument that stand there for me for hundreds of years. In the case of the pier, for example, and it was disappearing because the progress, the new Miami, the modern Miami was coming and was killing that history, and I want to preserve it in some way. So, for example, this pier has been there for 150 years. This is the Sonny Ice pier. I went there, took a picture of it, and because the Hurricane Katrina destroyed it, and that was what was left. See how destroyed it is? And I was able to take the picture and keep it for the future. The very next week, that pier was turned down and a huge concrete pier pier, very modern, very beautiful, but without the old flavor of the wooden pier. And nobody remembered that. But thanks God, I took a picture, and I've been talking with the mayor of Sonny Isles because I want to give him my picture to put it in City Hall of Sonny Isles, so to keep it like a memory how Sonny Isles used to be. So keep on that little record of the past. That we right now are living the transformation, so we don't see it. But in the future, it will be nice to see how was Miami 20 years, 30 years ago. And that's part of the collection. This is the Naples Pier that was destroyed also by a hurricane. This is what is left. And so before it disappeared, I'm going to take a picture to tell everybody here was a pier that was the center of the commerce of the South America into the United States. All the coffee that came from South America to the United States came into the Naples Pier. And this was it was left. But of course, a ship that was one of the most important cargo ships in the old little Miami port was about to be decommissioned and was about to be sunk to create a natural reef in front of the Miami coast. And before they scrap it, before they sink it, I was able to take a picture of it and keep it like I remember that we have this, we had this huge boat there. It was one of the first boats in the port of Miami bringing cargo from Europe. And now is a natural, artificial reef in front of the coast of Miami. And through my travels, I always try to look for an angle of a scene that has been seen 100 million times. How do you take an original picture of Venice? Everybody has an iPhone, everybody has a camera, and Venice is visited by 250 million people a year. Everybody with a camera. How do you take an original picture of Venice? How do you take an original picture of Rome, of Naples? But my goal is to try to find that angle, that moment in time, that light, that specific time of the year when I am able to stand in the right part, in the right time, and take a picture of an area that has been visited 100 times, millions of times, but nobody has seen in the Livorno port. Sunset like this, right when a passenger ship was passing. This is the old passenger ship was still using carbon as the way to, and the carbon engine. So imagine the guys throwing carbon to an oven. Well, that's a very old ship, but still, this picture was 2 years ago. Okay. And now the Benjamin Bonbon part of me, I'm always trying to figure out a new way to express myself. And this is how I come to the collection. It's a self-portrait into my eyes, of my own eyes. And it's not letting any moment pass. I went to the oculist and ophthalmologist to get my eyes checked. I'm a photographer, I need to take care of my eyes. And he told me that I have a new machine that I can take a picture of the optical nerve. Sounds good. Does the insurance cover it? Yeah, it's good. And he took a picture of my eye and he showed me the screen. This was the original picture. And I said, nah, this is too good to be true. I want a copy of that. He gave me a copy in a pen drive. And when I got home, the format of that machine was not a commercial image format. There was no way I could open it in any of my Photoshop editors. So I started researching. Finally found online a blog of somebody that says that he wrote a little program that converts that format to a JPEG, which is a very common image. So I was able to download the application and convert it in a high resolution format, and I was able to print it, and I was able to play with it, because the important thing about this collection is that my eyes is my micro world. It's a picture of the place inside of me where the light is changed. Again, light is transformed into information. This little part over here is sensible to the light, and it's what understands the light and makes the electrical impulse that goes to your brain that makes you see. understand figures, understand light and darkness and colors. It's done to this little area over here. And I start looking at this, that looks like the sun, which is also the source of light. So I saw some kind of parallelism there. So I went and I downloaded a picture of the sun taken by the Hubble telescope in a high resolution from the NASA page, and I put this picture of the sun next to the picture of my eye. And this area, which is sensible to the light, which transformed the light into electric pulses, was identical to a picture of the sun. I was mesmerized. I mean, how can I explain this relationship in this micro world to this macro world? And I found something that I started investigating that, and I said, well, maybe I found through art a way to consolidate two theories that never been able to be considered before, not even by Einstein, which is the relativity and the quantum. Okay, this is the engineer in me now playing around. So now, and I said, well, maybe art is the common denominator or the catalyst that will tell the physicist how to understand and to consolidate or to see the relationship between this macro and this micro world. And I start playing with it, and I conceptualize that between the micro world and the macro world is my world. And my world is my daughter doing gymnastics, and the nerves of here is actually a picture of her doing gymnastics. So I intervene the picture, putting my reality between these two micro and macro worlds. And then I stop smoking and I start working. And I keep investigating and playing with that. And when I put a yellow filter into it, I saw that how it changed. This is the same exact picture, but it has a yellow filter. But look what it looks like the sun, now it looks like a planet. And I go, whoa, I'm smoking good. And I put a blue filter in it. In what it looked like a planet, that was looking like the sun, now it looked like a bacteria. When I go deeper into the micro world, and I go to my biology book and I put it up, and I start taking pictures, looking for pictures of bacteria, they look just like this. So I went even deeper into the micro world. And it's okay, I'm gonna stop working now. And again, the objective of all this, and the way that I present me art, and the way that I printed, I started printing in glass, which was very creative, was nobody doing it before, and then I jumped to printing acrylic, and then I printed metal, always experimenting, always trying to do something unique that never been seen before. Even if 250 million people has been in the same spot before me, I need to look for a way to find an angle that nobody's seen before, and take a picture of that scenery that nobody's seen before. So I go to the internet, when I go to travel, I'm going to take a picture of this landscape, and I download every single picture of it, and I study the light, the time of day, the angle, everything. And I try to put myself in a different spot, at a different moment, look for a different angle. Sometimes I have to jump a fence, walk through a bunch of rocks, get into an old pier that is deck that is crumbling down, sitting in the floor because when I jumped, the wood, the floor of the thing broke and almost fell through. So I'm gonna keep walking. I'm gonna sit down on the floor, lay down right there, take a picture, open my legs as much as I can. And I'm not Giancarlo Ciavaldini. I cannot open more than this. So I try to get the frame correctly, and I'm able to take a picture like this. And some other times I see a danger. Don't go down. And this is like a gone, because I know that from there nobody did before. So I go down and I climb down the rift and I go for this little angle and I cannot go any further, and I wait in this same spot for 3 hours waiting for this perfect light to be able to take a picture like this.
Yeah?